whether it's religion or person or entity that draws us in, it's usually the same tactics that are used. It follows a pattern. So once we become cognizant of this, we can resist never getting drawn into these situations ever again. Once we work on ourselves and get to know ourselves to where we know where our vulnerabilities lie, we can fortify ourselves and know when these tactics are being used and take preventative measures before these people or whatever entities latch on, can be latched on. So we can combat this, and thus we will not allow others to control our us. We can remain free from that. When we remain free from control from others, we can enjoy, again, a relative sense of freedom in our lives. But part of the problem is there are people out there that do not desire freedom either. They want to be controlled, be told what to do by somebody else. So these types of people often fall victim to this. I don't mean to use the word victim in that sense, but they allow themselves to fall under the control of somebody else. The last girlfriend that I had in 2017 wanted me to make every decision for her in her life, wanted me to call all the shots, did not even want to think for herself at all. The relationship did not work out. I have to give her credit though that she left behind her job and everything to be with me out here. It was a pretty bold move to make, but she was looking for somebody to basically call all the shots for her so she wouldn't have to think for herself anymore. She basically gave up her identity to be with me. I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew that would likely foster resentment in her, even though if I'm calling all the shots for her and she allowed that for herself, she's eventually going to have resentment build up in her. Even though she allowed me to assume that role by the way decisions that she made. For example, she kind of almost on purpose totaled her car when I was with her so that she would have an excuse to quit her job and come with me. And she did love bomb me in the beginning as well, a lot, to get me to allow her to come with me so that she wouldn't have to really live her own life anymore. Actually, we were very incompatible, and then after a few months, it was very apparent it wasn't going to work out. I was thinking of a way to bring her back to where she lived and be done with it, but the hook there was she gave up everything to be with me. And now, if I just said this isn't going to work out, of course she could fall back on, well, I gave up everything for you. How could you just dump me here now? I don't have a job anymore. I don't have a car anymore. How am I going to get by now if you leave me here? So you see there, that was the hook that she put out there to keep me in that relationship with her, even though we were really, really incompatible in a huge way. She wanted to control me in the sense that she would not have to make any more decisions for herself anymore. And then, of course, if I made a bad decision, she could turn around and blame me for it rather than herself. So you can see that's another form of control. More subtle form, very subtle. And yet it followed the same pattern. At the beginning, there was a lot of love bombing going on to get me to allow her to come. So she wouldn't have to work anymore. She wouldn't have to pay for an apartment anymore. And yet we were blatantly incompatible. Of course, so also she could have sex to her heart's desire as well. So that's how that relationship went. And sex in itself is not really a reason to stay with somebody in itself. If you're not connected in any other way with that person deeply, then it's not really going to save. Sex is not going to save the relationship. There are other aspects. So some people will give up making their own decisions, but they will control another person so that they can make all the decisions for them. That's another form of control. It's a lot more subtle. It's so subtle that I didn't even pick up on it right away until a few months went by. It got under my radar because this was in 2017, pretty recent. We met her on a dating site. And she wanted to, within 2 or 3 weeks, to give up her job and everything to come with me. I should have realized that that's way too fast to make that kind of decision. But yet, it was a very subtle, more subtle, took a more subtle form to where it somehow got under my radar. But I realized, this is Columbia, Ohio, here we're passing through now. I came to realize after a few months as to what really was happening with it. But by then, she already had her hooks in me. She was with me, and she had to get the hook that if you drop me off, I got no job, I got no car, I'm totally dependent on you now. So how easy is it going to be to just say at that point, well, sorry, this isn't working out? It's very difficult. I was pondering over how I was going to pull this off, how I was going to get rid of her, because she was very clingy and would want to be with me constantly every minute. If I went out on a walk or a hike, she'd want to come all the time, and she was not in shape at all. Could not handle even a mile walk without practically collapsing. I was really concerned that something was going to happen to her eventually. She was going to get heat exhaustion or heat stroke. It says the Indiana state line now in Indiana. I was really concerned something was going to happen to her. She did not want to be away from me for even 10 minutes. I knew, so I was pondering over how I was going to pull off getting out of this relationship. I didn't know how I was going to do it. How I was going to pull off, I was thinking about maybe welcome to Indiana. I was thinking about somehow, like, I get a load to near where she lives or in that direction, and maybe tell her like 2 hours before we got here that I was going to drop her off. This event's not working out. Because if I had done it sooner, I know that she would just start crying and carrying on. And you really want to have to go through all that. So one day she was trying to come for a walk with me. I was going to a lake nearby, and she was barely able to. It was kind of a hot day. It wasn't excruciatingly hot. It was a little warm, humid. The sun was out. She was just it looked like she was ready to just pass out. But finally, I just told her, look, I told her, just go back to the truck now. Because I really was afraid something was going to happen to her. She kept going with me. And she got extremely upset that I told her to go back. Extremely upset with me. So yeah, after that happened, more than ever, I was trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get myself out of this now? How am I going to get this kicked off of me? What kind of tweezers am I going to have to use here to extract this? And so God actually did it for me. What happened was, we were in Sterling, Colorado, a little tiny rest stop in Sterling, Colorado, and I had to bring my truck in to get it fixed and have a leak fixed. So I brought it back, drove back out to the rest area. She suddenly, out of nowhere, told me, well, I'm leaving you. I'm not happy with you. I said, all right. I told her, well, things don't work out. I said, she said, I'm getting a bus from here, I'm going back. She lived on the East Coast. All right, I said, if you want to, she had already called the taxi, bring her to a nearby motel. So I said, okay, if you don't want to stay with me, that's fine. I said, no, I'm not holding you here with me. You're free to leave if you wish. So the taxi came, picked her up, and brought her to the motel, and that was it. I breathed a sigh of relief. I said, that's it. This is the break I was looking for. I learned later that she had been communicating with another guy online, and I think was wanting to go back there to see him as well. So she was looking for an excuse to leave to go see this other guy. I learned that later, but I didn't know at the time. So she stayed that next night at the motel. I didn't communicate with her anymore that day. The next day, she texted me, said, well, would you like to come back to the room and get a shower? I said, no, I'm not coming back. I said, I got to leave right away, I told her. She said, well, my bus is picking me up later. I said, well, have a good ride back. I hope the ride goes well for you. I'm leaving. Because I was on my way to South Dakota, I think. So I left to continue my trip. And she got on the bus later and went back. That wasn't really the end of it. After a couple of days, she begged me to come back and said, I don't have a job, I don't have a car, you listen to me, you put me in this position. To try to lay a guilt trip on me for saying no to coming back, and I said, have faith, it's going to work out. You'll get another car, you'll get another job. But she kept carrying on for days, calling me, crying. She wanted to come back, and I had to keep telling her, no, I don't think it's a good idea. And it was really a tough thing to have to do, because yeah, the hooks were there. The guilt trips that she tried to lay on me for saying no. It was really a tough thing to get through. This is Ellis, Indiana. So, finally, I guess that other guy was in the picture still, and he must have gotten her attention. She finally let off on the phone calls. But still, at holidays, she was still on my Facebook. I didn't diss her. I felt bad for her. And she still would send me sweet messages every time a holiday came up. But then I ended up, for other reasons, getting a different phone and changing my number. It wasn't to block her or anything. It was just I needed another phone, and I ended up changing my phone number. And right after I did that, that was it. She unfriended me on Facebook after that happened. Probably thought I purposely changed my number. I said to myself, well, maybe that's good. Maybe it's better off that happened, because I didn't really like her lurking around with my daughter, still trying to maintain communication with her. And I really wasn't too keen about that, because she tried to hook my daughter as well. So that was very recent. That was in 2017. So that shows that we may think we've learned the lessons, but then we get hit with something even more subtle, more kind of camouflaged. Maybe not as blatant, but it's still the same thing. Because I ended up spending most of 2017 with her. That's the story on that. I lost my visual here again. I'm going to end the video here.